Hello to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are. Please, this is a very vital information I want to share with my people this early Thursday morning. According to OBI AGUOCHA, he said NNAMDI KANU will be released soon. We have been hearing this thing for the past 3 years ago. I repeat, we have been hearing this thing for the past 3 years ago. I don't know whether this OBI AGUOCHA is working for us or he is against us. I don't know whether he's using it for his own political gain or he is truly from his heart representing the Ikuano and Abanot Federal Constituency. I hope you get my point very clear. OBI AGUOCHA have been on this for a very long time, but there's nothing coming out from it. There's not any single result. There's not any single victory. It is from one story to the another, from one story to the another, from one complaint to the another. And NNAMDI KANU is roasting in solitary confinement. In case you don't know what is solitary confinement, let me explain myself again. Solitary confinement is a kind of cell, underground cell, where you will stay. Nobody hears your voice. Even at the middle of the night, something is strangulating you. If you shout, it will seem like you are talking to yourself. You are not in communication with anybody. No any single book for you to read, just between you and your bed. And if they message for you and put AC, then that is it. Solitary confinement. That is where NNAMDI KANU have been there for over 4 good years. The mental torture they have given to that young man. If that guy is not strong, if the gods of our land is not with NNAMDI KANU, by now, his story would have been a forgotten story. I tell you the simple truth. But the holding of NNAMDI KANU is the more reason why you see Nigeria is not progressing. Because it is vice versa, it backfires. You don't treat who God have blessed or who God have anointed, you begin to treat that person bad. It will backfire. Nigeria don't know what is happening to them, and that is the problem. With only that single man they hold, that is why things is turning upside down. It seems like Tumbu is not working. They are doing their best, but their best can never yield any fruit because of this injustice against the Igbos and against NNAMDI KANU, a chosen one and a blessed one. Let us take other headlines before we can be able to start up the news. Chief of Defense Staff deploys troops to address rising violence by Lakurawa group in Kebbi State. You see it, a failed nation and a failed country. Now I'm hearing that Tinubu is a CIA agent working for the US in Nigeria. Nigeria is gone forever. I swear to God, that country is an empty. Even common Ben on the jail. If they invade Nigeria now, my brother, they will finish everybody. The security architecture of Nigeria collapsed the day that they elected Muhammadu Buhari and Tinubu. Vice versa. Let us proceed. Emeka Anyoko calls for abandonment of 1999 Constitution. Army accuses IPOB and ESN of killing 2 soldiers in Abia State. Another state capture. They have been doing everything humanly possible to make sure that they frustrate the good work of Alex Oti, and it is working for them. That is how this man will keep on shouting every day. Corruption we discovered in power sector will make you cry. EFCC boss. The same thing. If you hear how much people have siphoned, you will cry. Every blessed day. Blessed this man, they like cry. They appoint you to work, not for you to come and complain to Nigerians. How many people have been arrested or prosecuted? The same way you said, oh, if Yaya Boro is not brought to book, you will resign. We are waiting for you to resign. You never resign your office. Very useless and useless entity. The corruption in power sector, if you discovered in power sector, will make you cry. Rubbish. I beg my people now here we go to start our news. So like, share, comment, and make sure you keep subscribing to this channel for more interesting videos coming your way. Don't forget, my name is Stephen Amandia and is reporting from the platform of Okute Daily Talk. The member of the House of Representatives, OBI AGUOCHA, has disclosed that the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB NNAMDI KANU, will soon be released from detention. OBI AGUOCHA, who represents Ikuano and Omaya Federal Constituency, in the Green Chamber said negotiations are on to secure Kanu's freedom. The lawmaker said this on Thursday in an interview with Arise TV. Nigeria News reported that AGUOCHA has decried the way Ndi Igbo are treated in the zoo, arguing that there are two rules in Nigeria, one for every other Nigerian and another for Ndi Igbo. The Labour Party lawmaker explained the IPOB leader ought to have been released with the privileges of Section 174 of the 1999 Constitution enjoyed by Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho. According to him, he and other lawmakers and Governor Alex Ojo of Abia State have had consultations with the Minister of Justice Lateef Fagbemi and Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Like I said, we have met with the Attorney General. I have met with him several times. I have met with his chief of staff of a president and many other government functionaries. The only person I have not met one-on-one now is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and for obvious reasons, he has to be satisfied with the legal position and also satisfied with the security positions. I am very optimistic that after all said and done, recently my governor Dr. Alex Oti also talked about it, having met with the president, and some assurance were given to my governor by the Mr. President. Those assurances that have been given to my governor remain consistent with the assurance also that I have been given, and the things that I have worked with. I have worked with certain circles that have been put up for this, AGUOCHA laments. Speaking further, he highlighted that Kanu will be released by virtue of Section 174 or in line with Supreme Court's earlier judgment concerning his alleged abscondment. I'm very optimistic that within no short distance time, NNAMDI KANU will be released from detention. Whether it is going to be released by the invocation of Section 174 or whether it is going to be granted bail. The Supreme Court, after all, said the lower court ought to have revoked his bail, considering the circumstances that he faced before he absconded. Meaning the military came to his home, ransacked his home, and he escaped, possibly. If he was there, he would have been shot dead, just like many others. The Supreme Court had that under the circumstances, his actions of running away was justifiable. That's what the Supreme Court said. Since they have already said that he cannot be denied bail, it is also our desire that if bail can be granted to him, I am willing, able to come to sign that bail, so that he can have the ability to leave detention, at least to be able to take care of himself, see his family, and undertake other activities that such a person should do, the Labour Party lawmaker added. Chief of Defence Staff has deployed troops addressing rising violence by Lakurawa group in Kebbi State. In response to escalating violence in Kebbi State's Oje local government area, Nigeria's Chief of Defence Staff, General Christopher Wabin Musa, has deployed troops to counter the terrorist group Lakurawa, which recently attacked Mera village, leaving at least 17 people dead. Okute News report that this deployment follows an urgent from Kebbi State Governor Dr. Nasir Idris, who requested federal intervention to tackle the group's aggressive activities. The newly arrived soldiers, armed with armored vehicles and advanced weaponry, first meet with the Kebbi State Deputy Governor, Senator Omar Tafeda, before moving toward Mera village. There they engaged the terrorists, recovering cattle abandoned by the group amidst the intense military action. Abdullahi Idris Zuru, spokesperson for the governor, noted that the presence of these troops is crucial as Lakurawa's attacks continue to disrupt the lives of rural communities. The governor has pledged to ensure the safety of lives and property for all Kebbi State citizens, prompting him to seek federal assistance to counter terrorism across the state, Zuru emphasized. The Lakurawa attack on Mera has left the village reeling, with many residents displaced and mourning their losses as military efforts continue to restore security in the region. Corruption we discovered in power sector will make you cry, EFCC boasts. The executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ola Olukayode, has said the level of corruption in the power sector will make people cry. He put it this way: as we speak, we are grappling with electricity. If you see some of the investigations we are carrying out within the power sector, you will shed tears. People were awarded contract to supply electricity equipment. Instead of using what they call 9.0 gauge, they will go and buy 5.0. Every time you see the tin tripping off, the tin gets burnt, and all of that, it falters and it collapses. It is part of our problems. Olukoyede made a revelation during an oversight visit by the House of Representatives Committee on Financial Crimes to the EFCC's headquarters in Abuja yesterday. Furthermore, stressed the importance of collaboration between the Commission and lawmakers to combat financial crimes effectively. One of the key areas of concern, according to Olukoyede, is the power sector, where corrupt practices have been undermining the country's infrastructure. It was at this point the EFCC board revealed that some contractors awarded contracts to supply electricity equipment were involved in cutting corners. He said they were using substandard materials that have contributed to the frequent power outages and system failures. This, he said, is one of the many examples of how corruption in critical sectors is holding back the country's development, and nobody is arrested. You are only here complaining and lamenting. Olukayede also discussed the EFCC's new strategic focus on asset tracing and recovery, which he credited for the agency's success over the past year. Furthermore, he revealed that for every 10 naira recovered, perhaps 30 or 40 naira may have been stolen. If we recover about 440 billion naira and several billions of dollars in a year, imagine the total amount siphoned from our system. That is the unfortunate reality. Thus, we are focusing on prevention. Over the last year, we have established a new directorate for risk assessment and control. To recover 10 naira, you may spend between 4 and 5 naira, but to prevent 10 naira from being stolen, you may spend less than 1 naira based on our research and experience. Prevention is, therefore, the more effective way to combat corruption. We need more resources to carry out our mandate effectively. Our staff are underpaid, and we need to improve their welfare. Complain. Reacting, Ginger Owusibi, chairman of the House Committee on Financial Crimes, expressed the committee's readiness to support the EFCC through legislation and improved budget allocations. Owusibi also urged the Commission to enhance its operational capacity and strengthen collaborations with other agencies and development partners to improve accountability and efficiency in the fight against corruption. Emeka Anyaoku calls for abandonment of 1999 Constitution. Former Commonwealth Secretary General Chief Emeka Anyaoku had urged Nigerians to abandon its 1999 Constitution, warning that failure to do so will continue to hinder the country's development. Anyaoku expressed these views on Wednesday during the launch of the book, A Noble Academic and Patriot, a biography of Emeritus Professor Akinde Osuntokun, held at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs in Lagos State. Despite the 1999 Constitution as unitary, Anyaoku argued that sustainable development in pluralistic societies is only achieved through federal constitutions. Those who grace the NIIA for the launch included First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Olulemi Tinubu, represented by Senior Special Advisor on Policy Strategy and Logistics, Wahab Alawiye King, Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Mr. Benga Omotosho, former Ekiti State Governor, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, spokesperson to former President Goodluck Jonathan, Mr. Ruben Abati, Chairman of the Editorial Board of Nation newspaper, Sam Omosaye, former Commonwealth presidential candidate of the Labour Party, LP, in the 2023 polls, Mr. Peter Obi, former Minister of Health, Prince Julius Adeluyi, serving overseer of the Citadel Global Community, Pastor Tunde Bakare, National Coordinator of Obedient Movement, Yanusa Tanko, publisher of Ovation International, Dele Mamudu, Dare Babresa, former Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Bukno Akerele, governorship candidate of Labour Party in Lagos State, Badebo rival, Vibos, Erelu Kuti of Lagos, Erelu Abiola Dosumu, media guru, Dr. Yemi Ogumbi, former presidential advisor, Akin Osuntoku. In his speech, chairman of the occasion, Anyoku said Nigeria, like many other countries across the world, was a pluralistic country whose population comprised peoples long established in their separate geographical areas with different histories, cultures, languages, and religions. He said, a universal lesson is that pluralistic countries which have survived as single political entities in unity and progress are those that addresses their pluralism, that is, their diversity with genuine federal constitutions. Examples of such countries are India, Canada, and Switzerland. The other pluralistic countries which fail to manage their pluralism with true federal constitutions eventually disintegrated. Examples of these include Yugoslavia, which after 74 years of existence broke into 7 sovereign states, Czechoslovakia, which separated to 2 independent states, East Timor, which separated from Indonesia, and coming nearer home here in Africa, Sudan, which broke into 2 separate countries after almost 3,000 years of existence as a country. I believe, therefore, that if our pluralistic Nigeria is to achieve true unity and political stability, and to successfully tackle the serious challenges that the country faces, it must have a truly federal constitution. While maintaining that the trouble with Nigeria was not political leadership, he said, with the 1999 constitution, not even Angel Gabriel or Malaik Eka Jibril could tackle Nigeria's challenges. He said that the divisiveness, the underperforming economy with the resultant massive poverty, the insecurity, the humongous corruption, and the other major challenges currently facing Nigeria. My warning, according to Emeka Anyoku, therefore, is that for the sake of preserving our country, the Fulani government and National Assembly should not delay any longer acting to what is clearly a universal lesson. We must have a true Nigeria people, democratic constitution based on the principles that underlie our 1960 and 1963 constitution, which was hence technically negotiated and agreed upon by the founding fathers of independent Nigeria. As many of us in this room will remember, Nigeria was more united, more stable, and developing towards achieving its potential after that 1999 constitution until the military intervened in governance in January of 1966 and introduced a unitary constitution that has virtually existed about in different forms until today. Last but not the least, Army accuses IPOB and ESN of killing 2 soldiers in Aba. The Nigerian Army has accused the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and Eastern Security Network, ESN, of killing 2 soldiers in Umuahia, Abia State capital, on Wednesday. Nigeria News reports that unknown gunmen attacked troops of the Joint Task Force Southeast Operation, codenamed Udoka, deployed at the checkpoint along Umuahia Road in Umuahia South local government area. Lieutenant Colonel Jonah Umakalu, in a statement on Wednesday, said the attack was carried out by irredentist group of the IPOB and ESN. The statement urged the Southeast people in general and the state in particular to furnish the army with relevant, reliable, and credible information that could help in apprehending the suspects. Please note that any relevant information should be passed on Operation Udoka by dialing 193 and press option 2 on your phone. Lieutenant Colonel Unakaho's statements added. He added that the army will continue to carry out its constitutional role of safeguarding lives and properties in line with the global best practices as laid down in the rules of engagement guiding its operations. Recall that Enugu State Governor Dr. Peter Mba had called on the federal government to facilitate the repatriation of ESN commander Simon Ekpa, whom he accused of being responsible for insecurity in the southeast. Governor Mba also accused the Finland-based Ekpa of using the government to enforce sit-at-home and carry out criminal activities all in the region. So, my good people, this and other news that we have read is what we have for us this early Thursday morning. You know exactly what to do. As soon as you get this information, please pass it on. Share it with different people, different platforms, and different locations so that we can get our desired aim. Please like, share, comment, and make sure you keep subscribing for more interesting videos coming your way. I'll be right back. Kemesiano.